60 amazing old photos that will change how you see the world. A rare photo of the very beautiful Audrey Hepburn just being herself. During World War II, a fake city was built on the roof of the Boeing factory in Seattle. This was to fool the Nazis. Oxford studies dating back to 1906 and 1907. They look so clean and proper. She was a famous female pilot pre-war, along with being into car racing and motorcycling. Frozen in time. Soldiers didn't just have to worry about the human enemy, they had to worry about the elements too. This Soviet soldier was frozen, then staged like this to give a warning to enemies. The USS Shaw explodes. Just one segment of the devastation that took place when Japan surprised Pearl Harbor. Ernest Hemingway having some fun. Just having a little fun with his friends doing some old-fashioned sparring. Simpson creators. Meeting of the brains as the creators of The Simpsons gather around in 1992. The Great Preparation. Japanese soldiers were being prepared for their attack on Pearl Harbor. Back in the day of the family photos, most would dress to the hilt looking forward to the family affair. In this pic it's obvious who was holding the child did not want their face seen, or were they concerned about the evils that the camera could bring. Little romance. This looks like it could be one of those childhood sweetheart stories. In any event, it is darn cute. Better than watching them squabble. School days. If the kids think they have it tough going to school today, then they just need to glance at this group making their way to school in 1959 in Italy. Caged rest. During wartime, nobody felt safe at any time. Many would sleep in cages. In case of a bombing, they would at least have some shelter from falling debris. Captured in time. Seeing the Statue of Liberty in all her glory is a common sight. But to see her in actual construction is a treat. Strange puppetry. Puppet acts with ventriloquists were a big form of entertainment, but sometimes the dummies were so downright ugly you couldn't take your eyes off of them. But for them that was the point. While you were watching the dummy you wouldn't see the actor's lips move. Tender love. You may not see too many photos like this where the man will literally pick his lover up in arms to give her a big smooth. It is romantic though. Hat fashion. This is the garb that women would use when driving. It sort of fits in with the concept that back in 1906 if a woman wasn't wearing a hat she would be stoned. Easy transportation. Goats come in handy for a lot of things, but to use them for a little goat-drawn carriage is really a nifty idea. This took place in 1953. Salvador Dali. Now that's chess. Chess is enjoyed in so many different ways. But in Russia, they really knew how to play the game. This is the actual game of human chess that was popular in Russia in 1924. A rescue. A staged occurrence taken from the movie Rescue from the Eagle's Nest, but it still keeps you staring at it. Whatever works. No matter what war it is, whatever works to preserve a soldier has to be utilized. All too often it was the brave horses that served them that became the brunt of the danger. The dive. Diving costumes were not made for fashion, but every time somebody would put one on it made them look like a creature from the sea. It is enough to scare the fish. Maybe that was the point. This suit only dates back to 1911. The Titanic. There are plenty of real pics of the Titanic, but every one of them is worth looking at because they each hold a memory of the tragic loss. Breathe easy. Riding a horse. Into action on a plain field kicks up a lot of dust. A soldier doesn't want to be coughing while in battle. The solution is to wear a mask so he can at least breathe without a mouthful of sand. A classic. Charlie Chaplin was a classic and so was Helen Keller. This is a beautiful photo of their first meeting in 1919. Medical dedication. Imagine having heart transplant surgery in 1987. Look at the equipment that is on this patient and doctor. Religious dedication to monitoring the patient after a 23-hour operation. Cleanup time. The canals of Venus are beautiful, but they often need cleaning out, and this is one of those times. Not an easy job. Ride in style. Not only does she look prim and proper, the bird does too. Wonder how difficult it is to get oneself perched up like this. The blonde bombshell. There could never be too many pictures of this beauty. This one comes from the 7-year itch in 1956. A parting. There is nothing positive about wartime. Troops having to leave home was just one of the many brave acts. This youngster didn't want any part of his dad leaving. This photo is called, "Wait for Me Daddy," and was taken in 1949. Cosmetic surgery. Sometimes facial surgery is a necessity, and sometimes it is for beauty. In either case, if a nose job was needed in the early years, this is what they could look forward to. Watching the finished films is the ultimate, but watching them being made can be just as exciting. This was no each piece of photo shooting.